Recording in progress.
I'm hearing an echo over there, so oh, sounds like the echo is gone. Great. So we'll start M5 with your hot seat. Sam, how's your business doing? Report your victories and challenges. How can we help?
All right, victories are so I reached out to those leads. I've got really some great connections. I'm excited because we have a deal that happens in probably 2 months for kind of like my outdoor group fitness business, and I've never really had like a head start. I feel like on reaching out to people, so it's really nice that I know the companies that I can partnership with on this really big deal. It's like a almost like a crazy deal for a month of workouts. So I'm excited to have a head start on that. Now, the challenge is with that being out so far, it's keeping those connections and reaching out, keeping that momentum of like, hey, we're partnered, but our event isn't happening till a while.
Hmm. Okay, so maintaining the partnerships through follow-up conversations.
Yeah.
So in marketing, the number of impressions wins, and whoever can spend the most money to get the most customers generally wins. And right now,
Okay.
it's not necessarily putting money into ads for you, it's putting time into showing up. So we did this strategy on the retreat where you were reaching out to people so that you could put a table up in front of them. Remember that?
Yeah.
How many of those have you scheduled with?
So a lot of them were like, "Hey, send us an email with more information." So I sent them the email with more information, but I haven't like I got some replies like, "Contact me at this time," and then I haven't really heard anything back from him from that point.
Okay, so how far from now are the contact us at this time? Was it like on Wednesdays or?
It was like, yeah, like next week, like contact me next week because I guess everything's going back to school. People are just getting busy. I guess they're business wise. I don't know. Even in the fitness, it's just what they were saying. Like, reach back to me. Like the managers aren't there. The people that are the decision makers aren't there, and a lot of the places that I'm really trying to connect with.
Okay, do you think these places are going to have good leads if you do get in front of the people who show up there?
Yes, I believe they will because they're all local businesses, and that's kind of like what my base is. So they're all pretty not too close, but I feel like my ideal customers would probably go there.
Okay. So one opportunity is to simply walk into each of these stores that you've built a relationship with and
Okay.
like show up, put in some FaceTime, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes or less, just to let them know that they're important and that it is important to you to get in touch with those people. And then the other thing is literally call these people at the beginning of the next week once they said to follow up with them, right? Because once you have them, you follow up until they buy or until they die. Like if you can
Okay,
support
I
them,
like that.
yeah, it's on you to continue to stand for the value that you have and offer until or unless they say, hey, just don't,
Yeah,
or ideally until you've been able to offer them something. So do you think
awesome.
there's more you could do here?
Yeah, I definitely could do more walking in. I've just been more so email and call. I definitely want to follow up, like you were saying, just at the beginning of the week, just follow up with a phone call or just even throughout the week and just show up. That would make sense?
Yeah, and it might even make sense to show up and then buy a small thing. Like if it's a natural food store, whatever, like, show that you're willing to support them in a small way. And then from there, having become a customer, like having patronized their establishment, you can turn around and say, "Hey, can I talk to your manager? I like this place." Like if you found something worth buying and you legitimately like the place because that thing you found worth buying was worth buying, then you can turn around and be like, all right, well, I want to support you all, and here's what I do, and I've followed up, and I'm going to keep following up. Can I tell you a story about Steve Jobs that I think you'll appreciate?
Yeah, please do.
So he decided he wanted to work for Atari. And when he made this decision, he came into the like initial office and he said, "All right, here's the thing. I'm gonna work for you guys, and I'm gonna sit right there until you guys give me an interview. So basically, he said, I'm that level of committed. And then they gave him an interview eventually. So you're basically interviewing for the opportunity to partner with these institutions.
Mm,
And
I
you
love that.
you could literally take that level of intensity to it. As I look back on my history as a entrepreneur, I think to myself, oh man, because I was talking to a therapist last night at a singles event, and she was saying, oh yeah, I get most of my business through referrals and word of mouth. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never actively put full attention on that because I've been so inspired by events and so inspired by just generating leads online, and I've continued to have leads come through that. But if I just put my attention on building those partnerships, those could last for the rest of my life. Those could be the main thing for my business. You think so for
Mm.
partnerships that you build locally for you as well? Something like that?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So, what are you going to do by when it comes to this strategy then?
I am going to take action this weekend and go step into these places and just go buy something. It makes sense because it's local businesses, so they're not far from me. That was my main goal. I try to hit everything that was close around my thing. I'm just gonna walk in, at least to the smoothie shop that I knew I had was trying to talk to. So I'm gonna go just show some face in at least those locations, and then follow up with them on Monday with a phone call.
Cool. And then um, one revision or upgrade I would add is follow up to specifically ask when is the decision maker there and available
Okay.
until you get a time and a date.
All right. Time and date.
It's what I used to do when I was selling brain juice into convenience and naturopathic store shelves here in Austin. I would schedule a time to go visit because it's the highest leverage time to go visit if that decision maker is actually there.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Any other challenges or questions you have currently? Anything else you want support around?
Um, that's my main focus right now. I'm still grinding on getting my first coaching client. I realize I have relied too heavily upon the social media for it recently, and I really want to start focusing on more events because I remember you were saying you get most of your leads at events and just talking to people. So I realize like connection is going to be key to just getting that first person.
Yeah, so I've got a couple recommendations on that. I invited you to the Austin Conscious Builders event for late August. Did you get that invite?
Yeah. Yes, I did get that.
So those tickets are $30 right now. I'd grab one while they're cheap.
Yeah, I agree.
And then have I invited you to the Austin Conscious Community Facebook group yet?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know we had an Austin Conscious community.
Yeah, so let me grab that link so we can get it done right now. Um, I've received a lot of clients and leads from this group. So this is a place you could feasibly put up a market research post. Um, I'm going to send this through Signal. Eric, glad to have you, man. Good to see you. Sunglasses are fun.
Thanks. Yeah, they closed the freeway, so I'm on a detour, so I'm still not home yet. But I figured I would just tune in while I'm making the final stretch here. That's
Where's
the best
that?
I can do.
Yeah, sounds good, man. We'll do your hot seat in a second. So no
Sure.
worries. Yeah, epic. So
But yeah, appreciate that.
I've got a lot to follow through with you on. One of the things that Preston, before he left, he was asking for, and then he didn't give us time to actually upgrade into, which is all right. Um, I take my people's feedback seriously, was he wanted accountability and measurement around specific actions, activities, and competencies. So I'm just going to call it, we've got some core competencies in this mastermind. One is manifestation through your wishes, your command, and or feel free to prosper if someone is coming in with a desire to make more money. Another is having their niche clarified through actual market research conversations that are relevant and recent and cutting edge. Not some market research you did 5 years ago or some half-assed post you put out, but actual conversations. And then finally, also, and I want to acknowledge Eric for trailblazing this, the 2 weeks to new coaching income should be you guys' actual like strategy if you're using nothing else. Like there's stuff
Yeah.
in there that works so well that for most of the life history of my business, I've just done that stuff.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask you some questions since we're on your hot seat about progress because I know you consumed all the material from your training document, right, Sam?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. And was it helpful for you?
Yeah, a lot. I
Cool.
still look over it a lot of the times.
Yeah, was it also kind of like a fire hose because there was a lot there?
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice because I can go back into it and dive in. I know there's a lot of stuff that I want to implement a lot better. Um, Going to the retreat helped a lot with just defining my niche and having that quick pitch of knowing what I offer and knowing what to tell people that I do, you know? So that really helped me out a lot. Now it's just, I guess, trying to really implement more so of the lighthouse method and doing, like, I've read it, but I want to implement it more and just getting that next step. And I know it just comes with like one-on-one conversations of getting people to that one-on-one.
Okay. Well, give me your pitch again, real quick. What is your pitch?
So mine is I help busy professionals build a life that they love.
Period. Okay. There was still a little bit of like question mark at the end of that.
Yeah.
And I hear where you'd like to serve. Here's a request. Eric, would you be willing to do a lighthouse method practice conversation with Sam? Are you building a life that you love?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Well, let's how about you give Sam a time that you know you'll be available and you guys can schedule that while we're here on the phone.
That's fine. I have to wait until I'm home here in about 5, 6 minutes, and
Okay,
then
we'll
I
come
can
back to it.
better do that.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your willingness. We're here to leverage the full power of this mastermind as much as it is available, and that involves everybody.
Woo.
All
Yeah.
right, so practice with the lighthouse method. When it comes to people living a life that they love, have you done market research conversations with 10 people yet?
So that's the hard part. I've had like I guess four, because four people out of my thing have had the conversation of like, talking to them. I did the research online of like people who are offering, because pretty much it's life coaching, to be honest. It's just life coaching, building a life that you love. I'm still using life coaching principles. So I looked up market research online, but I want to do market research with people and how to do that, you know? I believe online is different than what people, I can do all the research online. The numbers can tell me, yeah, people are getting coaching, but I need more than people conversations, I guess, for the method. I've only had four.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. Market research online is busy work. It's confusing activity with accomplishment. It's spinning your wheels and
Yeah.
getting something done. It's really not, because the more conversations you have with real people, the better your messaging will be, because it'll fall out of their mouths as you're talking to them. Like, what is misaligned in their life? Why are they not living a life that they love? What are the symptoms of them not living a life they love? What are the mistakes they're making on the way to trying to live a life that they love? You'll eventually turn around and craft an offer and content, because I see you're diehard committed to content. You The number of stories you put out per day is astonishing. So
It is pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, so if you were talking to a single avatar about a single problem and adding value in the direction of that problem being solved with your content, and you got some brand deals and stuff. You're being a good
Yeah.
for some people. You keep doing that too. But if you were focused entirely, because do you get leads for your Camp Gladiator through your content?
Yeah, I do. And it's usually like because I tell people about camp, and I know the first thing people do, like I realize like the first thing people do when you tell them about yourself, they search you up online.
Yep.
And so that's why I just post the stories because like people see it and they're like, oh, you do outdoor group fitness. Okay. Oh, there's people there. Because most people think it's super hard, you can't do it. And then I'm like, if I just show them, I try to give, like you said, like people need to see it like 10 times. So when I do make a post on like in my local neighborhood groups, I get a whole bunch of leads.
Mm, that's awesome. That's amazing. That's super
Yeah.
simple. So you've got a strategy that has been working for you to generate leads for Camp Gladiator reliably.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's just about creating a proportion of time where you're reliably and consistently talking about the coaching offer or wanting to
Okay.
support people through alignment into a life that they love.
Yeah.
And so, what I'd invite you to do is have the market research conversations for sure. And they can literally be people who are in your camps, actually.
Oh, that's perfect. I never, oh, yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, people who've already bought from you and already know, like, and trust you are so much more likely to buy from you in the future, whether it's just buying like a free call, much less
Yeah.
eventually buying coaching too. I mean, is it possible that some of these people might be available to pay? How much do you want to charge for a coaching package?
I was thinking I was gonna do like 12 sessions for $2,000. That was my coaching package. But then I was thinking about, I mean, I know that's my like big package. I was just looking at what the industry is kind of price wise, maybe.
Yeah, don't do that. It's
That's why I was curious. Like, I don't know what to look at.
Yeah, because if you wait on your value by doing statistical work and market research to see what you want to charge, like what you charge, it's always made up,
Okay.
which is not to say charge $50,000 right now for a 3 month engagement. Like
Yeah.
there will be a calibration relative to the value that you offer and how much they value the problem solved. So when we look at the cost of inaction, like if somebody doesn't get the problem of misalignment in their life solved and they're depressed, right? Is that a common result? Some people might get depressed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, like you're just working against the grain. You're not getting where you want to go. So it makes sense. Like you would be to, yeah.
Yeah, and we can even look at how much do antidepressants cost for somebody for a year, right? You're not competing with the medical establishment, but you're aiming at a similar problem solved, which is like, how do I actually love my life? And depression is the diametric opposite of that. They're kind of so dissatisfied, they're depressed, they're upset with their life. So let's see. There's billions spent per year. I'm just doing the research real quick. This is where some research might make sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. People are paying sometimes potentially even 20 grand per year uh, for medications. The average annual costs of managing depression are between 9 grand and 17 grand. So, I mean, like, if you were to charge 2 grand, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
That is a bargain for the if you can reliably deliver support in bringing about more happiness, more alignment, and living a life they love. Would you say you believe you're able to do that?
Yes, 100%.
Simple enough. Okay. So then
Okay.
follow up with everybody who you've ever sold Camp Gladiator to until you get 10 market research calls.
That's perfect. Thank you for that idea. I don't know why did I never, I mean, yeah, makes sense. It makes sense. It really makes sense.
This goes back to a real interesting and useful principle from Russell Brunson. he says, the number of people on your list, you should be able to make money from those people, right? Like if you
Yeah.
have 1,000 people on your list, you should be able to make like $1,000 at least per month or something like that, because
Yeah.
your um, net worth is in your network. You've heard this. It's trite,
Yeah.
but it's true. So to the degree there are people who know, like, and trust you, you have the ability to leverage that, not to sell somebody else's, not just to sell somebody else's products through deals, but also to resell them on something new that you have for them, namely coaching. And coaching could be an upgrade that even supports them in executing Camp Gladiator even better, right?
Totally. Actually, yeah.
Yeah. And
That's smart.
fitness is part of their alignment. Fitness arguably is a foundation for the rest of their alignment. Am I right?
Yeah. A lot of them. So that's smart.
And how many people have you served in Camp Gladiator? How many people are there to follow up with?
A lot. I mean, a lot.
Ballpark it.
There's a
Hundreds,
lot of people.
thousands?
At least I have at least over 500 leads. So, like to think about like in my like people who've come and people who've lost and people who've left, like on my email busted list, I probably have at least 500 people that I could probably reach out to, honestly.
Yeah, so this is a note for you as well, Eric. Anyone who's ever bought from you, anyone who you've ever built know, like, and trust with, you can follow up with them to offer for them to be a referral source specifically, or reactivate them as a referral source, or you could invite them into something new. I'm not saying necessarily create something new. It's more likely going to be the referral offer, but if you can make it really appetizing to them, like, hey, I'm doing a special where it's like 20% back to my referral sources, and I know you had a good experience with me. Who do you know? Does that make sense, man? Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'll always be able to spin more strategies, tactics, and tools for you all. That's part of why I love being here. So let's go back to the core competencies. You probably, Sam, and this is a longer hot seat because we have more time today. You probably have enough to do. Read back to me what your marching orders are, that you're clear on what to
So
do.
marching orders are to walk into reaching out to my leads, calling them at the beginning of the week to follow up and find out when the decision maker shows up, and like what time to show up. I have follow up with old leads for market research and offer coaching to my current campers.
Yeah, exactly. And once you have that lighthouse method call with Eric, which we can schedule now, you should have more confidence to, after the market research call, which is a separate thing than the sales call, to after the market research call, say, if you believe you can really help them, be like, hey, would you like some help with this? And then you schedule a separate call. And on that separate call, you just go through the lighthouse method, just follow the script and take notes and
Yeah,
ask them the questions on the script. It works.
it's
I can't
awesome.
tell you how many people I've just given them that script and they simply ask for a high ticket amount and then they get it. You can do that.
Wow.
Yeah. And here's the other benefit.
Woo!
The other benefit is you're highly trained. So when they're paying you, they're not paying for a babysitter by the hour. They're paying for the full amount and range of skills and certifications and distinctions that you embody. And ideally, they're also paying for a result. So you can say, hey, I, I you're one of my first clients. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to get you to this next spot in your life. I'm going to get you to your outcome in this amount of time or 3 months or whatever. And if I don't, and you can tell me within reason, I guarantee you I will work with you until you get that result. Because Sam, at this level in the game, if you get somebody who comes in the door and who actually pays you, it's better for your brand, better for your skill set, and better for your growing capacity as a coach that you get more experience and that you get a real result. Make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And it's going to be much easier to sell with a guarantee too.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay. So we've got your action steps in terms of tactics, techniques, in terms of market research. Um, some of the metrics we're gonna start looking at here in the mastermind, and feel free to write these down, are number of hours per week spent in outreach. If you want more money, you need more people to know that you exist. Uh, Number of hours spent in lead generation activities. So those could be market research calls. Those could be follow-up conversations. They could be events. I'm leading an event tomorrow to a bunch of leads. Next is the number of sales calls you've had per week, number of closes from those sales calls. So sales calls equal number of offers made. I've made some offers this week, or I've made at least one in a long week. Let's see. The final metric is what are you doing to nurture your leads if they're not buying? And how many
Mm.
leads are you nurturing? Anybody want to ask me a question about those, or I can repeat them?
Um, for nurturing leads,
Yeah.
I guess a question of mine might be, um, is there anything or what should we do if the lead is essentially dead? Like they've ghosted you, they're not responding to anything. What I've kind of been doing lately is I maybe do like up to three check-ins or just reach out once a week. Hey, do you still need help? Hey, here's an interesting YouTube video I did. It could help. But they're ghosted, right? They're unresponsive. So kind of just at what point do we quit the nurturing process, if you will?
Um, I would call them up through Google Voice. I'd get a Google Voice number and call them. So they're not, because they might have coded your messages as follow up to try to sell them shit. At which point they're just like, oh, I don't want to hear from this person. So we get to be crafty because we know they have a problem that's unsolved. And then when you get them on the phone, one of the things you can do is find ways to add value that are new and different. So one of the things I observed from one of my mentors was that he was always coming up with new workshops, new trainings, new materials, new books to put out there in service to his customer, to his avatar. And so he had a list, right? So at what point would you stop following up if you had a big email list? Never. You keep emailing them. And if they clean themselves off the list, if they say, no, I don't want emails from you anymore, they unsubscribe, that's good because that means whoever's left is actually more likely to buy and more responsive. Now, if you're just following up through direct text, well, it's not the highest leverage place to be following up to begin with. The highest leverage place is on a list where you can send one to many a communication at scale about new value that you're producing and creating. So, do you have an email list that you follow up with, or is it just text messages and calls?
It's just been text messages and calls. I can perhaps create an email list.
Yeah, so in order to create an email list, what you're going to want to do is create a lead magnet that you know is juicy and exciting and enticing for them to say yes to, such that they'd be willing to exchange their email for that thing. And that may take some time to inquire into and to figure out. Ideally, it would be the most juicy, heavy, painful, specific, concrete problem that you know your people run into that you're able to solve. And even if it's you solving it through this piece of content in your absence, you're building know, like, and trust. You're building authority and credibility such that they're willing to open the email next time. They're willing to listen to the next piece of content they see online. And at that point, you could also feasibly, as they're signing up for the email list, have them give you their phone number. The opt-in rate may go lower if you do that, but if you have their phone number and their email, then you can call them at any time through a Google Voice number, or you can send them a mass text. And there's various services that will allow you to text everyone from an email list or from a list of numbers you've got. At which point, um, it's all about the copy. Because if you're writing stupid copy, then it'll come off as like Hey, I mean, and I don't mean to be insulting to you. It's the copy, right? If the copy is something like this, hey, do you still have this problem? Want to buy my shit so I can help you with it? Like that may be that's not working. What works better is, hey, are you having this problem? Here's part of the solution. So the copy itself, the communication itself is valuable. And we see this with content in general, like on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, but we forget to do it when we're sending messages directly, when we're sending like live communications or text messages. And then email is just as much of a place to refine your skill at creating content as anywhere else. So, do you have any ideas about what you would create as a lead magnet, Eric? Something that would get people curious?
Um, Good question. Well, so first of all, most of the people who are inquiring, they fill out a contact form on my website.
Okay.
Now, in the past, I've just said, "What's your phone number?" That way I can call you. So I'm thinking
Hmm.
maybe I just say, "Give me your email too,"
Yeah.
which I inevitably have to ask for if they become a client. So two birds, one stone. So I'm thinking if I just put that on there, they get subscribed to the email list, right? Just for being an inquirer.
Yeah.
Um, and then I can, I don't know, weekly emails, just like a lot of people do, send out some content or something like that. Does
Yeah.
that does that track?
That could work. How many people do you get inquiring per month, like adding themselves to that list, so to speak?
A few. Yeah, usually a few per month.
Okay, so like 5 or 10, or
Probably five. And
okay,
then obviously they don't all convert, but
okay, interesting. Well, that shows me, and that is that from all of your lead sources, how many leads you have flowing in regularly is like 5 per month?
um boy, I've never thought about it in those terms, so
Yeah, it's
I'm trying
important.
to track it all now. I get five inquiries on my personal website. One of them might convert out of those five
Yeah.
in the end. And then I do have about five incoming clients per month from various sources like partnership referrals.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
is that 10 total, or are the ones who inquire on your website coming through partnership referrals?
So if the question is how many conversions do I have, it's five total. If it's just how many inquiries do I have, people who I can add to a list or who are curious but not committed yet, I would also say five.
Yeah, I'm confused. You said conversion. You said one conversion out of five from the inquiry,
Uh-huh.
and then you said five from the partnership referrals. So are those two separate, totaling at 10, or are those the same?
Those are separate.
Okay, then we
But
get
the partnership referrals are not inquiries, they're de facto sales already, I guess is my point. Yeah,
okay, got it, got it. Cool. Oh, that's great.
if that clears it up.
Yeah, it does. It does. Really appreciate it. Because we're entering a tempo season in the mastermind. Tempo season is take the pulse, do the measurements, get the stats. And as we have the stats, if we know the score, we can raise the score. We can look at the score and say, what do I need to have this number increase? So Sam's increasing from 0 to 1 when it comes to number of paid coaching clients. You're increasing maybe from 10 to what would be your max capacity, knowing that you want to get to 10K per month, or be able to sustain that consistently.
Ooh, hard to say. Max capacity. Well, in terms of inquiries, in terms of onboarded clients, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, per month, I can technically handle 30 clients per month at any given time. They sign up for a package, so they're scheduled in weekly. I try to keep that more like at 25 though, so I can enjoy life. So somewhere between 25 to 30 is, continuous, right, at any given time.
Yeah, so then there's a question of like how we work it out to where there's recurring revenue from those 25 to 30 or so. Um, such that eventually you're going to hit a bottleneck where you're like, all right, well, I can't take on more. Are Have you run the calculation to see if you can take on 25 and hit your revenue goal?
Well, that's an easy calculation right now, I suppose. So, I can I can probably do that pretty quick here. Let me
Cool.
see. So, if I had 25 clients per week continuous, that would be about $5,000 income per week. Now making less than that now, that's because some of the referrals they don't pay as much, and that's why I'm trying to do this coaching and everything, develop myself because I no longer want to rely on those referrals. But if all goes well and I, continue to grow and everything, I take on 25 at any given time continuously, then that's about 5,000 weeks revenue per week. So 20,000 per month. So that's obviously great, right?
Yeah, so I know your freedom of time is very important to you. Then the question becomes, what would it take to get you to $10,000 per month, knowing that some people drop off every so often?
Um, Maybe I don't know how to answer the question.
So it's at
Are,
least
are
like
you,
half of what you just gave me, probably, to start.
what does it take to get me there? So more of that organic lead onboarding, meaning it came through my personal website, some more exposure, right? I think that's my biggest weakness.
Hmm.
Um, Certainly more networking. I know I said I don't want to rely on partners as much. What I really meant by that is I want to rely more on the higher quality referral partners, which are out there. Those are often the matchmakers.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, more of that too, expanding and offering my services out to other people and trying to grow that because then they're automatically sending me clients. They do the sale for me, and
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, awesome. So then we can reduce it to a number of how many referral partners referring how many people per month gets you to that 10 grand.
It's so inconsistent. I don't know if I have a good number. How many partners do I need, right, to do that? I've got just took on a new one, which is nice. And then whether they continue to send a bunch of clients or don't is the mystery, right?
Mm.
Because it's extremely inconsistent. Some of them are trialing it just to see if it my services make sense with their matchmaking or if they, they're already so busy, do they really want to bother with having to work with a coach now and more back and forth? So it can go either way. Obviously, I'm optimistic. I think you liked one of my Facebook posts where the girl was asking, can someone work with a gay client? I think you
Yeah.
saw that one. Like stuff like that, right? Maybe that leads to something more because then she sees I'm great with this client she gave me and she wants to do more, right?
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. We're confronting the sort of glass ceiling of referral partners, which is um, they're never going to be as incentivized to build your business as you are.
Right.
And they're
Yeah.
always, if they're in business for themselves, going to have something that they're up to that they are prioritizing. So it makes sense that naturally your stuff comes second or not at all or only sometimes.
Agreed. Although with matchmaking, they set up the matches, textbook, good quality matches, but then the people going on the dates still might be terrible at dating. So in a way, some of them are realizing this coaching might be an essential part of what we do here, and that's what I'm hoping to convince them of. But
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Um, so then what we can talk about, and I want to finish Sam's hot seat because we're still technically on his, but thank you for the
yeah.
answer. Did I get your original answer, your original question answered?
Oh man, I don't even remember what the question was. The original question.
I think it was
But
something like, where do I follow up with people if I'm just following up
oh yeah,
times?
basically when there's following up and nurturing. people, the leads who are being somewhat, at least somewhat responsive and intrigued, great. I think I'm doing okay there. And then the question is just, well, what happens? They do this intro call with me and they're just like, I'm really interested in this. I need to get my money together and things. But in a few weeks, I'll be great to go. But then it's just dead in the water, of course, silence, ghosting. And so I can keep texting and saying, check out this YouTube video, but at what point do I call it? And it sounds like your answer is never, as long as I get a good email list going, something like that, where I can just bulk kind of email anyone.
Yeah, and that's the traditional standard answer. Now, in the
Okay.
current milieu, what people respond to best is community. So I'm sure, because you've been around the block, you've seen things like this in school, where there are communities with content and members doing stuff and then engaging with posts and sharing and whatnot. I haven't really breathed a lot of life into this particular group lately. I haven't been focused on it. I'm about to, I think, completely revamp it. But one option to get somebody receiving more from you is to create a bunch of content that supports them in solving their problem in isolation from one on one coaching with you, where they can jump in and they can go and consume this content inside a paid vault, which is also a community where they're sharing and sort of supporting each other. And then you charge, 50 bucks to 100 bucks per month for that. Now, this is a pretty huge affair. It's not small. There's a lot of content in here. So anytime someone shows up, they're getting an extraordinary amount of value, right? I should really not be giving this away for free. I should be charging probably $100 a month at least for this amount of attention and time. And then what you can say to them is like, all right, well, if you join the group, you can get the problem solved while you're getting the money together. Here's our time for when we follow up. So you schedule a follow up call with them, by which time they're planning to get the money together. And then you're technically following up with them through content that you assign them to consume between that first call and then the next conversation that will actually continue to nurture them as a lead. And how does that happen? Well, if they already know, like, and trust you, and you just keep feeding them more content, and then that keeps their focus of attention on you, increases their willingness to buy even more from you later on. They don't get distracted by everyone and their grandmother through Facebook ads or other gurus seeking to teach them dating. And they're more likely to buy later on. Somebody who's bought from you is 65 or so percent more likely to buy from you in the future. So get them buying something, even if it's almost nothing that they're spending in terms of money, like through a downsell. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, $25 per month even, right, to join an online group or private Facebook group or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Could even be something because then they're more likely to buy more as
Yeah. And then
and do that as a downsell.
Yeah, and then you could say, all right, so there's a lot of value in here. I know I'm undercharging, but that's because you're on a contract to pay for it for 3 to 6 months. So here's the subscription. The subscription is non-refundable. You're engaging in a contract to be a part of this. And here's the thing, you know, it if and when we actually decide to engage at a lot higher level, because you join the group, there's a small discount on the higher ticket thing, right? So that they feel like they've been investing in themselves the whole time and that there's some special incentive. It doesn't have to be a huge discount, but it has to be something. Or it could. You don't have to do a discount at all, but it could be something. And there could also be ways of adding value to people inside the group, like a weekly coaching call, where you just get everybody who's in the group and you answer their questions. Very simple. And it's like, what does it cost you?
Okay.
90 minutes a month. So yeah,
Yeah, great. I like that idea.
sweet. Do we have your follow-up question answered?
I think so. Yeah, these are all good ideas.
Beautiful. So let's transition back into Samuel. When when would you guys like to schedule a lighthouse call? Sometime in the next week. I'll watch as you work it out.
When are
Um,
you available, Eric?
Samuel, sorry, what time zone are you in?
Central Standard.
Okay, let me see something here. I'm gonna look at my calendar. I still use a wall calendar because that's just how I organize
Hey,
visually.
me too. I like it.
I can't do the freaking you're getting on Calendly all the time and all that or with Google Calendar. Um, let's see here. Are you available weekend per chance?
Weekend, yeah.
Because I have excellent availability tomorrow or on Sunday, and then I get a little bit slammed during the week.
Yeah, we can do. What does your schedule look like tomorrow?
Let's see here.
Let me look at
Tomorrow I
my
can do pretty much anything after 3 p.m. Central Time.
after 3 p.m.
Or I could do 11 a.m. as well.
Okay, we can do what works better for you because I'm available after 3 p.m. Saturday as well because I realize I have to work at 3 p.m. I get off at 3. So can we do 4 tomorrow? I mean Saturday?
Four works. Let's do that.
Perfect. Let's do Saturday at 4. Thank you, sir, so much.
Yeah, of course. Let's just note a clarification. When you say do a lighthouse method call, is this a practice call for Sam where I'm inquiring about the coaching and he gets to put that, just try it out? Okay.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. So I'll do the role play there.
Cool.
Awesome, Eric. Thank you so much.
Yeah, happy to help, of course.
Cool. Well done, y'all. We're gonna as the mastermind gets more intimate, we're gonna have a do it now mentality and more specific tracking and accountability and tempo genius focus. So uh your benefit. The hot
Yeah.
seats are actually exponentially longer today. We may end, we're probably not gonna do full 2 hours every week because I don't want to fire hose you. I want to give you enough to chew on and enough to do. And if there's just two or three of you, then for now, until more people join the mastermind, which I've got some people coming down the pipeline, um, who may feasibly join if they don't do one on one, which they may. Then we may go back to another format. But sound good? Give me a thumbs up if you're enjoying how this thing is flowing. All right, great. Uh, again, still on Samuel's hot seat. This is funny. Sam, have you read Your Wish is Your Command 3 times? Yes or no?
Not 3 times.
All right.
One time. Definitely gotta read.
So what I'd recommend is go read it a second and a third time. So that is your
Okay.
information, content, education, like consumption goal
All right.
alongside all
Perfect.
this other stuff. And between all of what I just gave you, you should be set up to win.
I feel like I am.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna take you off the hot seat finally.
So.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, let's take a breath. We may end with qigong. I forgot that I could do that. That could be fun. Um, okay. So, Eric, what are your wins and what are your challenges? Like, what would you like help with? And then also, don't overload yourself if what I've given you already is too much.
Oh yeah. Well, you might already know some of my wins just for whatever reason, call it manifestation, but it just like I said, couple matchmaker, new potential partners came in out of nowhere, and just there was that Facebook post I mentioned, right? Someone's like, "Oh, I need a referral, someone who can work with this person." She emailed me, by the way, so I'm still waiting to see where that goes. But the fact that she personally emailed me, we've actually interacted before too, so she remembered who I was.
Cool.
So there's wins there, and that I'm getting busy with clients despite the fact that I haven't applied necessarily at 2 weeks to no coaching income. I'm just getting new coaching income. Just it could just, it ebbs and flows, of course. So I might just be hitting some type of pinnacle right now,
Mhm.
luckily, and then it goes back down. But obviously, once I have a new partner sending clients, there's good potential that there will be future work there. Even if it's slower, some new work is better than nothing at all, obviously. Right. So that's a big win. Just I'm getting more clients for no freaking reason at all. People just happen to be reaching out to me all at the same time, really. Some people heard about me or whatever, right?
That's great.
Um,
One quick curiosity, as you've been reading Feel
yeah.
Free to Prosper, because I know you were working on Feel Free to Prosper for a while, yeah?
Yeah, I just finished it. It took a long time. It was a hard read for me, honestly.
Heard that. Well, thank you for going through it.
Yeah.
As you were going through it, did you start to generate an intention to use what you were learning for your business or to have your business produce more income? Yes or no?
Yeah, a lot of it was, I think, mostly mindset, which is important.
Hmm.
I think that book is more about mindset than it is about the practical how to some degree. And I'll go reread certain sections of it too. Um, but definitely trying to improve my relationship with money was probably the big one, as in how I think about money. Because I do have sort of a negative outlook on money, and that I'm very like anti-materialism and things like that. And so is that stopping me? Am I training my subconscious, right, to not make money, perhaps? So that was a big takeaway from that.
Huh, interesting. So repeat after me. In the past,
Oh, sorry. In the past, I thought you were gonna keep going.
I had a negative attitude towards money,
I had a negative attitude towards money,
and I claim my right to reconfigure it positively.
and I claim my right to reconfigure it positively,
Yeah, because every time we say, I have a terrible attitude about money, what are we telling the subconscious mind?
to be terrible with money.
Yes, exactly. So the main message of the book
Yeah,
was to stop fucking doing that.
right, right.
In fact, there is very profoundly practical how-to material to specifically execute through written down exercises in lesson one at the back of the book. Samuel, did you do that? Was it decisive for you? Yes or no?
Yes, game changer.
Yeah.
Because
So
wealth is your divine right, man.
yeah, great, great. See, he even remembers. So Eric, your attitude may have been so negatively biased in the past that you hallucinated away even the most important structurally effective components of that book. It may have been part of why it was so difficult to get through it because that what's in the book went against the grain of whatever judgments you might have had on money. So like, do you see that that's possible?
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so then
Yeah, absolutely.
so then we'll deal with this from two angles. One is what are your judgments on money? Like
My
why
judgments on money,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think I think my judgment is on materialism more than money per se, right? But obviously money's the root of materialism. My judgments on money probably stem from the fact that I grew up in San Diego, not a cheap place. Good childhood, swimming pool, big house. Parents made a lot of money, but then I watched their relationship fail and crumble. Divorce. They lost everything just from the divorce process, the 2008 crash, all that stuff. The point being that I watched them fill their lives with crap, and it, didn't really help them or make them happy, nor did they even get to keep it all in the end, right? And so I'm thinking, why don't you just put the money away instead of buying crap and live a simpler life?
Hmm.
Why'd you have 4 kids? Why don't you have 2 kids instead and call it good, right? Why complicate things? And so that's probably where a lot of it stems from. Obviously, that's the judgment, right?
Huh. Okay. So, do you see that money is actually helpful?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. When used correctly, I suppose.
Yeah, okay. So are there specific judgments on money that you see that in the past have prevented you from being willing to make more?
Um, the specific judgment on money is don't go the way of my parents, where you start to value money and possessions too much,
Okay.
kind of thing,
Yeah, so
I
you
think.
pendulated. They valued it too much. So perhaps you've gone in the direction of valuing it too little. And this gets reflected in the cap of your income.
Yeah, right. Something about I can go on a date with a girl, watch a movie together, order pizza, and be happier than my parents were, who had a lot more than a pizza and a TV set, right? They had a swimming
Yeah.
pool and all that. So I've learned to devalue money in that way, right? It's just like, oh, all you need is a pizza and a movie. You don't have to spend a bunch of money, and you shouldn't be living with a lot of money necessarily.
Ah, there it is.
Yep.
Shouldn't be living with a lot of money. Because I agree with you. Simple life, minimalist, be able to find satisfaction and just talking to my brother over Zoom or like a nice day in the sun. Like that's a great capacity to have. No one's asking you to lose that or let that go. But what I am inviting you to do is to know that should or shouldn't be living with a lot of money. Nobody can prove that shit. It's made up. It's absolutely made up. There's no way
Yeah.
anyone can prove that. And so to the question becomes, is living by that supportive of your highest choice in life or not? And it strikes me that probably it hasn't been. Um,
Right.
like being able to live minimally and find fulfillment easily in a little is different than don't have a lot of money or don't live with a lot of money. Does that
Yeah,
make
I can
sense?
just put it in savings and then I don't have to buy all the junk, right?
You could, and
That
you
was another thing from the book. I can't, the exact word choice I can't remember, but she said there were basically two things money was about for her, freedom and then being able to essentially give it to other people, help out other people, right, who could need it. That was really like the whole point of her having a bunch of money.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's cool. I can get behind that.
Yeah, then one of my questions would be what would be an empowering belief you could create around money instead?
That I can use it to do a lot of good for other people if I have it.
Yeah, everybody put this in the chat. The more money I make, the more good I can do. All right. So there we go. The more goo I can do. Oh God.
Oh,
It's fine.
sorry.
A for effort. A for effort, and you were like 75% of the way there. It's fine. Um, we're here to have
We
fun
can
here.
fix that.
He's gonna fix it. I think so. So the assignment I'll give to you, Eric, when it comes to your money mindset, is specifically go back and read only lesson one from the back of the book and execute lesson one. It's going to take 20 minutes a day, but it is a practical how to generate more money. And you could take the 2 weeks to new coaching income beside that. You can do some more actions if you like, but try just that. Because, Sam, was it decisive to do those 2 weeks of written down exercises? Did it literally manifest more money and opportunity in your life?
Yes, and it really changed my mindset and opened a lot of doors for me because I was under the same thing as you, Eric. Like I thought making more money, I thought I needed to work harder to make more money. And it opened a lot of avenues. I was like, wow, it's so abundant. And the fact that it's your divine right and just some of the training and seeing the opportunities that were coming that were right in front of your face. Like you're seeing, like I believe you read the book and you did manifest those people because it opened doors that you didn't see were there.
Yeah, so the work is it can be nonlinear. Welcome, Mary Lynn. We're about to jump in with your hot seat. Great to have you. I now see that 12:15 your time is actually 1:15 my time. If I had just thought that through, this we may move the mastermind one more time, an hour ahead, so everybody can be on deck for 12:15.
It's actually 11:15 my time right now
Oh
because
my
we're
goodness.
in pre-service training. Our lunch is from 11 to 12 instead of 12 to 12:45. So
Wow. Okay, so I'm doubly incorrect. When is your if you'll put in the chat when your lunch will regularly be in the future, that'd be great because then we can shift one last time and include you.
I
Um,
don't have an exact schedule yet. I'll let you know. I just know it's going to be sometime around noon.
okay. And noon would for you be 45 minutes from now?
Yes.
Yeah, good to know because that's 2 o'clock my time. So when you said noon originally, I was like, oh yeah, I can do noon. That's noon Central Time. Um, by the way, Mary Lynn, has Feel Free to Prosper and work in it been decisive for you as well?
It has been. Yeah, that's a great training. And then I've been listening to Theater of the Mind. I have a 35-minute commute each way to work right now. And so I listen to it on the way to work and on the way home from work. And I'm going through it for the second time completion.
Amazing.
Um, so yeah, those combined are really powerful.
Super cool. Um, yeah, for all of you, by the way, Money Magic Alignment is part of what's on the menu here, which is a deepening of the awarenesses in Feel Free to Prosper, Your Wish is Your Command. It's the one thing on Sam's training document he hasn't gone through yet, which don't clutter, don't rush to it. Just know it's there while you're here in the mastermind. Mastermind is 12 months, so you got time. Um, and then Eric, with lesson one, which is 20 minutes a day. I don't want to overtax you and all the other stuff like learning and opportunities to explore that we've gone through. Do you have enough to chew on for now?
If yeah, I have more than enough because, like I
Shit.
said, all
Okay.
this business came in, and so I'm pretty slammed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was talking about in terms of capacity when we are engaging here, like new stuff from me for you to try out. But
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
cool. Okay, cool. Then great because as we enter the Tempo Genius season in this mastermind, it's the right amount at the right time for the right person, and not too much and not too little, right? So, can you commit to 20 minutes a day of starting today, like reading lesson one and then implementing it, and then doing that over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Will you? Do you commit to that?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, beautiful. Welcome to the team. The Feel Free to Prosper team. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna set you down. I'm gonna take you off the hot seat. Let's acknowledge Eric and Samuel.
Woo.
Basically, both of you acknowledging each other. Okay, so I'm gonna introduce a new conversation for you, Mary Lynn, and then we're gonna put you on the hot seat. Core competencies. We're cultivating core competencies in this community. One of them is mastery with Your Wish is Your Command. Another is having had the market research conversations. Another is like your elevator pitch or being exposed to an experience with the 2 weeks to new coaching income. Oh, hi, good to see you. Your camera's on now. That's great. Um, so there's certain things that we're measuring. I'm going to copy and paste them into the chat so that you can start looking at them. These are the needle movers in your business, right? So maybe we'll have a form. Maybe we'll just come back to these. And Sam and I, like, Sam, remind me if I forget, because I want people to share their stats every week on number of hours per week, number of hours spent, number of sales calls, and you just focus on those things as what to do. If you fall in love with the process, the outcome becomes inevitable. If you simply put time on task over time, your outcome becomes inevitable. So long as you're being clever, creative, and crafty in innovating and iterating through your actions. You can confuse activity with accomplishment. Who's done this in the past? Activity is not always accomplishment. I can take a bunch of papers and move them from one side of my desk to the other. Does that do shit for my business? No. I mean, it might do something for like my decorum and my sense of organization. And so most people, they're producing a lot of content or something and putting it out there, but it's not producing results. So if you're not producing results, we want to check in and ask why and how can we change that? How can we edit that? What needs to be added in? What needs to be removed? What needs to be altered? And we could do a whole like several months on just Tempo Genius. Feel good? Sound good? Which is this style. So Mary Lynn, welcome. How can we help you? What are your wins up to and including the new income opportunities? And then what is your challenge if you've got anything that you want support around specifically? Oh, you're on mute.
I'm on my phone, so it's a little awkward. So my wins, I was found and asked to take a full-time position at a school who really focuses in on the social emotional learning piece. The identifying your emotions, being able to name them, knowing what, having tools to deal with those, know what your triggers are, and be able to use those tools before you become triggered, and then being able to recognize those big feelings and emotions in other people and support them with those tools that you have, is the big focus of the school here. And so that felt very much in alignment with me. And then they offered me about 10,000 more than I made at my previous school. So I was like, okay. I felt like it was very much divine intervention. I was not looking. They found me, and then all these things just aligned with my core values. So I take that as a win. I like that. One thing that I've been, because I came to the contract late, everybody else has had 2 weeks of training before me, and there's a lot of missing pieces and things that just aren't quite falling into place right. But I still feel like it's divine timing because it's teaching me a whole lot about just breathe. It's fine. It'll happen when it needs to happen. Don't stress. And so I'm learning a whole lot that way too, of things that, I need it now. I need it perfect. I need it done. I'm dealing with some of those grasping mentalities and instead just kind of allowing. So, and I think a lot of that is listening to the theater of the mind on my way to work and on my way home every day. It's kind of helping me with that whole inner picture, that inner person smiling and being like, it'll happen when it's meant to happen. So I take those as wins.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're doing, in essence, what you wanted to do with adults, like supporting them through emotional self-regulation with tools and distinctions, but with kids, making best use of what you already know as well.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Can you do Reiki with the kids too?
No, probably not.
That's fine.
I mean, I technically, I can do Reiki in my classroom and have that energy already here when they walk in.
Huh.
but I can't specifically do Reiki on somebody who hasn't given me permission or their adult hasn't given me permission.
Right. Just looking for like how are you fully self-expressed there, and you seem pretty nurtured by it, regardless of the
Yeah,
Reiki. So
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty excited with all that. And I guess what I could use support with two things. One, I came into here thinking just time management because I'm working from 7:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday now
Mm.
and trying to keep up with everything business wise. And then you said something earlier as I was coming back in because the internet kicked me out, but something about being active doesn't always mean accomplishing.
Hmm.
And I'm really good about posting to social media and putting things out there. And um, it's not quite 100%, but every day I post something to Facebook. Every day I post something to Instagram. And then as I can, I put out, hey, I'm teaching a relaxation class. It's going to be here. I do that 3 times a week or so, but it's not getting a whole lot of traction.
Yeah. So what is your intention? What would traction look like?
Um, I think attraction would look like people showing up to my relaxation classes, people booking Reiki sessions, um, even people following me and getting some of the, little micro lessons that I'm putting out with those posts. And then, eventually asking questions and where we could build a deeper relationship.
Yeah. So if your content is not landing to produce the result that you're looking for, the question becomes why. And
Right.
what will fall out of the answer to that will be new strategies and new intentions to hold, new attitudes to cultivate. Um, so one answer that's pretty trivial is maybe the algorithm is not picking it up, or people are just not seeing it. Okay, well, we don't have control over that. To the degree that we produce more content per day, potentially we could indirectly impact that. Like the more we put out, the more we get seen. For example, Sam, you put out enormous number and quantity of content posts and stories per day. Do you think, have you observed in your experience that that has gotten you more seen rather than less?
I love what you said there, Lewis, because it is true. Like I put out a lot of content and I still feel the same way, Marilyn.
Okay. Yeah.
So I I believe it gives us social proof, and it's kind of like Lewis. He with his post, like yeah, his posts blow up. But I noticed something. I don't want to take the words out of his mouth, but I know he's probably going to tell you is he's speaking to his ideal person, and
Mhm.
you might have one post that can do that very thing. And I got to be honest, my content is so broad. I think that's my issue.
Yep. So next time we can go deep into messaging, because people don't really care about the value you have until they know that you see them and hear them. And that is itself the most valuable thing you can give them by describing the mistakes that they're making, the symptoms of the problems they're experiencing, like mistakes they're making that are leading to those problems and symptoms, mistakes they are making to try to solve them. That's basically reading them what it looks like to be inside their mind and inside their life. And sometimes that can be enough. Like, here are 5 signs that you're an overworked mother or overwhelmed, and you need something to support you in re-regulating. Right? If I recall correctly, that was basically your niche, Mary Lynn, back then.
Yeah, overwhelmed caregivers who think they have to do it all in order for it to get done. They don't know how to rest, they don't know how to ask for help.
Yeah, so 5 signs you're an overwhelmed caregiver could be a post you could try out. You don't know to ask for help, or you're not asking, you're waking up exhausted, XYZ, ABC. If this is you, here's what to do. And by the way, I have something for you that can help you to do that. Do you hear how that post would be more targeted, tailored, and tuned to someone who actually needs it and can hear you than just a general, like, hey, relax, everybody?
Right. Right.
And I'm going to
Yeah,
teach. Yeah.
my content is based around the market research that I have.
Okay.
And and I guess I am getting traction. It's just slower than I would like. And maybe that's my problem is impatience. I've gone from, getting around 100 responses of some sort to a post to some of them have been 1,000 or more.
That's awesome.
So I guess I am getting ground. It's just slow. And maybe that's my issue is impatience.
Yeah. So um, I invite you to breathe and allow. First of all.
Why is that the lesson of my life right now?
Well, I mean, I'm just repeating back to you what you enjoy and could use some repetition. The other thing is every and any
Right.
piece of content is a guess and a test. And unless we
Yeah.
assess the results of the guess and the test and iterate based on that, we're starting from ground zero every time we put out a new post. So for a while there, I was looking at what topics and titles do people respond to the most on TikTok and having my bot create new titles for new topics or new post opportunities based on what had worked and what people were responding to. And so that could be a strategy is you go back and look at those posts that did 100 or 1,000 or whatever, and then see why did those work and how can I do more like that? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
So do you have enough to chew on when it comes to new content experiments or angles to see how you can optimize?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Then we'll go back to the other piece for Hot Seat, and then we'll conclude on timing. We'll conclude on the scheduling of the mastermind. um, so the biggest thing about time management is maintenance of momentum through building behind the scenes. And what that means is, well, what it looked like for me when I first started was I would have an iPhone note where I would be tracking how much time on task over time was I putting into my business. And it was a minimum of 10 hours a week of me consuming content that enabled me to build my skill as a coach or um, eventually like including coaching calls that I was having with clients. So you want some way to measure and track the effort that you're putting in so that you can hold yourself accountable for specific effort. Number one. Number two, you want to make sure that effort is the highest leverage actions or activities that you can take in your business, which means it's ideally going to be marketing or sales. Sometimes it's going to be admin and operations. Um, and then third, we want to time block time for you to put into your business. So let's look at your calendar and find a place where you can absolutely commit. Sound good? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. So I just wanted to make sure this thing was pinned because I'm not sure if you got it in the chat, but it's there in the group chat now. Um, what does your schedule look like? So you wake up when?
Around 5.
5. Okay. Then you do your morning routine and get out the house, I imagine, by 7?
6:40.
6:40. Okay. And then you get to work by 7:30?
Yes.
And then you have your lunch, which is what, 30 minutes?
Something like that. 30 to 40. Like I said, I don't have the exact schedule yet, but it'll be 30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. So that is time when you could be doing stuff like theater of the mind. You could be doing stuff like creating content. Want to make sure you also eat. I see you eating. That's great. Um, so then there's 4:30, which is another commute, and you get home. What is it? You said 35, 40 minutes.
So on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm home by 5. On Tuesdays, I teach a relaxation class from 6 to 7, so I don't get home until 8.
Okay.
And then Thursdays, I have my women's mastermind and I get home at 8.
Okay. So then that leaves Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Correct.
Yeah. So the ideal would be to put in like 10 hours a week towards your business, which would be 2 hours a day on your available days. It's
Right.
just an earmark for momentum that I have found. And it
Right.
looks like you're leveraging AI to create content. So you're optimizing some features and facets of your business. What I would say is, I would ask, like, assuming you take like 30 minutes off for dinner or something when you arrive home, or maybe even an hour to make dinner and then eat it with your family, then how much does that leave you on Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evenings?
Um, Depending on the day, anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Okay. So
Um,
let's make it an hour, just so that it's non-negotiable. Like you always get it done on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's 3, and then you could do another like 3.5 on Saturday, Sunday.
right. Yeah. And I usually do more on Saturday and try to make Sunday a day of rest. Um, Saturdays, when I see Reiki clients, I teach another relaxation class,
Hmm.
create my content. I'm learning how to schedule my content out right now. That's something I haven't known how to do. I've had to do it manually every single day, or
Yeah.
twice a day. Uh, That's kind of my Saturdays. Yes.
I'm sorry, your Wi-Fi went out. Could you say that again?
Oh, gotta love school Wi-Fi. So on Saturdays, I teach a relaxation class at 9. Right now, I have a standing client at 10:30, and then any other clients around that one. And then when I get home, usually around noon, I batch create my content for the week.
Hmm.
And now I'm just now learning how to schedule it out so I can put it all on a schedule. So I'm not manually posting twice a day.
Hmm.
So anyway, so I do a lot on Saturday. I try to keep Sunday mostly for a day of rest and family.
Okay.
But yeah, so Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at least an hour, and I would say 7 hours on Saturdays
Oh, wow. Okay.
would work for me.
That's great. Yeah, because you're actually doing with the Reiki class, you're doing about 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, does that feel bearable and livable? Like, is that something you can keep and maintain?
I think so, at least for now. We'll see,
Okay.
when training's over and I'm actually hit the ground running, but I think it will work.
Okay. Um, so that is it. Does that feel good?
Yeah, I think that works.
Cool. So that's what you're committing to, giving your word to. Does that align for you?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. All right, then let's make sure that this thing is mastermind scheduled so that you can attend and get the maximum out of it, and so that we get you served. Um, I'm in the mindset of no person left behind. Who else? Who else is that way? No, nobody left behind. Yeah, and I'm flexible these days, and Fridays are fine. So right now it is 11:39 local time. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and you anticipate your lunch breaks being at noon local time?
But yes, somewhere around that. I was looking to see if they've given me I have a binder full of stuff. So I was just looking to see if there was a breakdown of my class schedule for the days.
Okay.
Doesn't look like it. So, yeah, it was 4 hours. Yeah, it should be somewhere right around noon.
Okay, cool. Then if we were to do noon your time, or make sure that the mastermind overlapped with noon your time to have you drop in and then you could catch the rest of the recording, would that work for you?
Yes.
Beautiful. Standing in No Person Left Behind, are you all down to shift the mastermind slightly so that we can make sure that that's doable? Okay. I'm going to look at my calendar right now and see what works. So 2 o'clock my time is 12 o'clock your time. We could start. So this time we started at 12:15 my time, and we're going to 1:45 my time. We could start at 1 o'clock my time, which is 45 minutes later, and then we could go for an hour and a half. Um, Having to move it all around, I'm also seeing what it's going to require to serve you all. It's 2 hours is going to be too much because I don't want you overloaded. So I'm going to move starting on the 7th, the mastermind to 1 o'clock. And again, this is just a slight shift within what we'd already planned, until 2:30 Central Time. And then that should show up as in alignment with your lunchtime. And then even if you're showing up just for 15 minutes after you get off of work, we're good. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
Any objections or issues from the rest of y'all? All right. Great. The motion carries. Let's acknowledge Mary Lynn. Thank you. All right. We didn't start with meditation, but we're going to end with one. Everybody bring your right hand to your physical heart. Take a deep breath in and close your eyes. It's funny, we're all in glasses, so feel free to take off your glasses if it's helpful, or leave them on, it doesn't matter. Take a deep breath into your heart. Let it go. And again. Let it go. Third deepest, strongest, longest breath of the day, down into your diaphragm. Breathe it in. And let it go with a sigh. God, infinite intelligence, we invite grace with gratitude. We invite guidance with joy. We choose to perceive and receive our highest choices and to honor those. Take our egos out of the way so that whatever is best and highest in us may have free play. Help us to remember to remain present to the present of the present, and to share that being, and to be that being in our conversations, our communications, our coaching, our service. Stepping now, y'all, into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Who would you be if your business were where you're committed to getting it? What kind of freedom do you get to enjoy and experience? What kind of things do you get to do, and how does that make you feel? Breathe that in.
all the way over here. Well, at least you're on my side. How are you?
Thank you. So letting that vision go gently, taking one more deep breath into your heart. I pray all of these things with the support and in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Ra HaKodesh, for the highest and best good of all. So be it, and so it is. Amen. All right. And that was our mastermind. Everybody, let's come off of mute and we'll yell out M5 on 3, 2, 1. M5.
M5.
All right. Appreciate y'all. Go home.
Woo.
Or go back to work or whatever you're. Yeah. Okay. Love you.
Back to work.
Yeah. Bye-bye.